It's Start When Ready, and we're going to be playing a pretty cool visual novel called Helena's Flowers. It's basically a futuristic, all-female version of Homer's The Iliad. So, the plot is that Helena of IKEA, oh my god, we spent like 5 hours trying to figure out the correct pronunciation.
No, I'm just gonna say IKEA. She's from IKEA.
Helena of IKEA is the most beautiful woman in the galaxy, and recently she eloped with a Volusian princess, and because of that, IKEA declared war on Melusa, and there was a huge war, so it's like Troy and IKEA, I guess. And as the war was drawing to a close, Helena is escorted back to her rightful place in IKEA. However, something goes wrong, and their ship crash lands at a desolate tiny planet, killing everyone on board except for Helena and a single soldier named Penthesilea. And that's the plot.
Okay, sounds good. Start.
Yeah. It looks really beautiful, by the way, and I love the music.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited.
The Helenikos flowers of IKEA were said to be the most beautiful in the world, their orange blossoms scattering a sensuous fragrance whenever the wind blew. Though they were lovely, their most striking feature were their petals, which never held on very tight, making its full flowering blossom a rare sight. And it was for this that the flower took on the meaning of a rare type of love, one that existed only in a short, violent, passionate burst right before falling apart at the seams. I think it is some cruel joke that I was named after this flower.
Mistress Helena!
I could feel someone roughly shaking me. I fought against pain to open my eyes. It was an unfamiliar woman looking at me, and where are we? The Helenikos flowers, they surrounded us.
Penelope. She wasn't able to dodge those elusive missiles after all.
This is so pretty. Like, the background is so nice. I love it.
It's beautiful.
And, like, that girl is really hot. Like, I can't stop looking at her, like, amazing cheekbones.
I know.
She's, like, really sculpted from stone. The woman's voice was familiar at least. She was one of the women who had rescued me. The woman's gaze was centered on a pile of broken metal and unidentified remains. Only then did I realize that it was all that was left of the ship, that this woman and her comrades so ungracefully shoved me inside not a day earlier.
We are lucky you survived. The mission is not yet lost. If I can get you back to Mother IKEA. Mother IKEA!
Yeah, it's like in the homeland, you know, in Sweden, there's just like Mother IKEA right there. I bit my tongue.
Penelope, Thetis, Alcimene. Though they had to give up their lives for it, we were able to fulfill our purpose.
They died for a fool's mission. The soldiers shot a surprised look at me.
I love these animations. I think they really fit well.
Yeah. What? Why bother giving me such a disgusting face? You won, right? You've recaptured me, the beautiful Helena of IKEA, at least back home.
IKEA.
I'm gonna keep saying IKEA. At last, back at home, where no foul Volusian fingers can touch her.
Mistress Helena.
Enough. The woman was silent. I needed to get a hold of myself. I couldn't let her see me like this. I'll go for a walk. You can... I gestured towards the wreck. Get that working again or something.
Yes, mistress.
I need someone to call me that. I turned from her and decided to put on my mind somewhere else. Anything else while I waited to see what could be done to the ship. A quick walk around showed me that the planet that we had crashed was barely big enough to be even called that. The most peculiar was that the entire planet was covered with hundreds or more likely thousands of bright orange Helenikos flowers with whom I shared my name. I soon arrived back at the crash site. The soldier was burying what appeared to be the remains of a pilot, Penelope. She's still not done. I suppose I can look around a bit more. I should. Uh. Lakeside?
Sure.
Made my way back to the only body of water that the planet had.
Beautiful.
Yeah. How are they so calm though? Like, there's like no food on that planet. Nothing.
Well, I guess they're assuming that it'll be fixed.
Yeah, but like, if your car breaks down in the middle of nowhere, you're still nervous.
Yeah. I don't know.
Even here, there was still more of those flowers. This is creepy. This is
I think it's beautiful. I think it's symbolism.
like, it's beautiful, but it's like, that planet where Starfire was, where she was
I don't
like,
remember Teen Titans as well as you do.
that was like,
I'm afraid that wasn't the biggest.
that was my
part of
everything.
childhood.
I even had like the Game Boy game and everything. Like, it was Teen Titans and Hi Hi Puffy, and those were like the main. Anyway, those were like the Cartoon Network ones. But
Yeah.
there's like this one planet that's like, I think it's like supposed to be really beautiful, and that's where like she gets her laser eyes and all these like cool powers because she has to go through like this metamorphosis. Like, she's in a cocoon and everything.
Cool.
And yeah, and it's like really dangerous because there's like this woman like monster thing that's trying to like trick all of them. But yeah, it's kind of like the same vibe. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, I think so.
Also, I like that Helena's eyes are the same color as the flowers.
Ooh, yeah. Symbolism, analogies, English words. I bent down to take a drink of water, the waves leaving a cool, lasting sensation on my hands. But then I stopped. My tired reflection was staring back at me.
She's crying.
I would too.
Yeah.
Gods, I look horrendous. I quickly averted my gaze from my own visage. I couldn't believe it. I had looked like this, and yet those rescuer soldiers of mine had refused to let me go back for my things.
That's what she's worried about.
Same. I would be like, how do I look in all of this? I know you guys are dead and everything, but it's back to me now. I can't go back to IKEA like this. They won't.
Stop calling it IKEA.
Because I can't. Now it's in my mind. Like, we were looking through for hours trying to not hours, but like for a while trying to figure out how to say it. And some people
It's
were
not
like,
IKEA.
I know, but like there was this one forum post and they were just like IKEA, and now it won't get out of my mind.
There was also this guy who was apparently Greek, and he pronounced it Ahaia.
Yeah.
So.
And we're not going to be like.
I'm calling it IKEA, not IKEA. IKEA.
They won't believe that I'm Helena. That's another thing. Like the My Chemical Romance like song or whatever, it ruined everything. I'm gonna be awful at this. The girl whose face had been plastered all over the walls of the country. I could just hear men's voice in my head. How often that spouse of mine had refused to meet me because I was not wearing that color she so arbitrarily favored that day.
Female Menelaus, that's awesome. Menelaus? I don't know.
Menelaus sounds better. Or even worse, if my hair was being unruly or if my paint wasn't pristine. And here I was being returned to such a woman. And even if she wanted to see me now, she had never wanted to see me. So when I left with, this one's a good one, Alexandros, to go back to Walusa with her, I had thought that she could not care at all. A petal touched my hand, clinging to it as the water pushed it against me. Where I touched my hand, was that a wrinkle? I quickly pulled my hand from the water. Oh my god, that's scary. I desperately tried to brush the petal off, trying to smooth my hand from the crevices that shouldn't be there. Somewhat calmed, I decided to head somewhere else. Wow, that was horrible.
Visit the large flower field?
Yeah. It was something to do, at least. I headed toward the flower field. Just as the first time, Helena's flowers surrounded me as far as the eye could see. I've never seen so many, and
it's really very beautiful.
Mm-hmm. I love, like, even the little, like, meteor shower and all that stuff, just, like, the detail.
Yeah. Whoever the artist is, you're
Mhm.
awesome.
Yeah, it's really
This is
good.
beautiful.
If you guys need voice actors, I'd love to.
Nice microphones.
Yeah. And most surprising was the fact that they all had intact blossoms. Though it had been increasingly less rare in the recent years due to biochemical engineering of the species, but even still, how could such a tiny planet be covered with such an expensive species? I couldn't imagine. Well, don't they have like the diamond planet? Or whatever?
Yes.
Like it rains diamonds or something like that? I don't know.
Just read.
I couldn't imagine anyone spending that much money to populate such a remote planet with them. They most likely were wild. I snapped one of the flowers' necks and held it up closer for inspection, one or two of the petals falling off in the movement. Alexandros gave me some of these flowers as a gift when we met. Before I'd left with her to go to Walusa, leaving behind my family and duties in IKEA, but IKEA, whatever. But how did it all turn out like this? Why did IKEA declare war on Walusa, and all of it under my name? So many people killed just to take revenge on the Walusans who had kidnapped the beautiful Helena of IKEA. I dropped the flower, watching the last of the petals coming off as it fell to the ground. I needed to go somewhere else. I should return.
Yeah.
It was late enough. I headed back to the crash. The woman was waiting for me. What's that on her face? What's with that face? What's with that face? What do you want, soldier?
I've put the ship back together as much as I can.
I spotted 3 new mounds of dirt next to the ship. The woman noticed where I was looking.
For Penelope and the others.
Wow. I like how you can kind of see her abs through the shirt.
Wow. Yeah, I like her eyes, actually. They're really beautiful. I love the way they drew both of their eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Although her brows are, like, horrible. They look like caterpillars.
They look like little Cheetos on top.
She's very well drawn otherwise.
Yeah. Don't be mean. They're good thick. Everyone draws them thin.
Yeah.
Why did you bury them here? Wouldn't it be better for them to be laid to rest back in IKEA?
What? Does she want them to carry corpses with
Mm-hmm.
them? Like,
just carry them, it's fine. I don't have to touch anything.
I didn't think their bodies would keep for the journey back. For real.
Yeah. Keep.
They would decompose before.
I signaled for her to stop. Don't
Helena,
speak.
you're stupid. Like,
yeah. I don't know. Maybe she's like trained as like I don't know because it's not even like you would know. Don't speak such vile things in front of me.
Of course.
How long is the journey back anyway? I couldn't remember how long that journey had been with Alexandros. All I could remember were how warm her hands had been.
A day and a half.
Yeah, that's gonna rot. Okay. I wouldn't think that nature would take its course on your comrades in such a short time.
Yes, they would have kept if we left immediately. Except, there is a part missing from the ship. It cannot fly.
Excuse me?
We cannot leave the planet until we find that ship part.
Oh, I'm really bad at, like, puzzles and stuff. You don't mean we're stuck here?
Yes, that is what I mean.
That is unacceptable. On this pitiful excuse for a planet.
Mistress Helena, calm down.
Calm down? Why? We're stuck. And what are you expecting us to do for food?
We have enough rations for about 20 days, now that there's only 2 of us.
Wow, wow, wow. And then what?
We will find the ship part and return to IKEA.
And even if we don't?
We will find the part. is best we should save our energy. We'll need to start looking in the morning.
We? What do you mean we?
Excuse me. I will look in the morning.
Oh, I feel that.
Let us retire for the day.
Said nothing to her, following
She's
too.
so privileged.
I would be like that too. I'd be like, you can go ahead and find it. I'm your queen or princess or whatever. I said nothing to her, following to where we made our first night's camp. That night, as we fell asleep next to the small body of water, my eyes looked onto the myriad of stars above us. Somewhere out there, the Walusian War was already drawing to a bloody close, and the Ikeas, the clear victors. And here I was, the prize of the war, lost in the vastness of space. What am I doing here? No one answered. Day 1. When I woke up, someone had left a pile of food and water next to me. Isn't this the water that makes you really old? Or is that just like...
I think it's just regular water.
Oh, I thought it was like she touched it and it made her hand all wrinkly.
It might, I don't know. I think like the water she's drinking though would probably be normal.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was like that was the scene. That's why I was like surprised.
I don't know, maybe. I don't think so though.
Yeah, probably not. I tentatively picked it up. It was clearly some sort of emergency ration, the food hard and unrefined.
You'll want to add water to that. We'll make it more palatable.
God, this girl's like so hot. I looked at the soldier. Her face seemed softer than the day before. Perhaps now that her mission had been put on hold. What is your name?
Excuse me?
Your name. I don't remember it. That night in the ship was so chaotic that I was never able to sort out the woman's name from the names of her doomed comrades.
Penthesilea, mistress.
You got a nickname? I see.
Some call me
Yeah,
Cilia,
okay.
if you would prefer that.
Then, Cilia, you are to look for the missing ship pieces today.
Very well.
The woman left me then. The nearby pond's gurgling filled the void. Now what? I stood up and brushed the crumbs off my dress. If we were to stay here for a while, I'd want to keep it as clean as possible. Or just, like, go naked. Like, you know, just... when do you have an opportunity to be alone in a planet like that? Whatever. Looking around me, I had to decide what I was going to do for the rest of the day. Should I visit the flower field or the crash site? I want to look at the flowers, but...
Me too.
Okay. Forget it. Whatever. Aesthetics more. I decided to take a stroll and visit one of the flower fields I had found before. Arriving, I found myself surrounded by the bright orange Helenicos flowers. I bent down and plucked one of them, holding it up to my face. I'd never seen so many before, all in one place. They all stared back at me, identical faces. How are their petals so perfect? Is there no wind to tear them apart? Silence filled the space after my words. I suppose there was no wind on this tiny planet. Nothing to disrupt their beauty. I held the flower closer to my face, inspected. Suddenly, I could smell the sweet fragrance. I quickly dropped the flower, watching it as it fell to the ground. They were all emitting that scent, that sweet, subtle aroma. Maybe it's like poison, and they're all gonna go crazy. Like in Mass Effect, it was like they went to this planet for that guy, whatever his name was. He was like an ass in Mass Effect 2 or something, and it was like you go to that planet for his dad, and it's like all the food that they ate on the planet made them crazy. So yeah, maybe that's gonna make them all crazy, and then yeah, that's gonna be good. Yeah, but that's gonna make them crazy, and then they'll do like the exhibitionist thing, like after. I was getting ahead of myself. That's the thing.
Okay.
They were all emitting that scent, that sweet, subtle aroma. It made me sick. I don't feel well. I headed back to the pond. It's working. Day 2. Should I visit the flower field or the crash site?
Crash site?
Yeah. Why would you go back? Though I wasn't fond of digging around in the dirt and I thought it was beneath me, I decided to check up on Celia and the progress she had made. Ah. I could see the soldier crouched over, face down in a field of Helena's flowers. The only thing visible of her was her posterior. Nice. How crass. Okay. Mm-hmm. Ahem. The woman shot up and apparently surprised to see me.
Mistress Helena.
She awkwardly tried to brush off some of the dirt from her legs.
I did not expect you to be here.
I can see that. I came to look for the peace.
I thought you were going to relax by the pond, or perhaps view some of the flower fields.
I could have, but I didn't. I'm here now, and what's wrong with me being here anyway?
Nothing. I'm surprised is all.
But her face said otherwise. Well, I'm going to look for that peace. And I don't quite appreciate your tone, soldier. She did nothing but to give me a salute and turned around to continue bearing around in that patch of flowers again. Well, if she wasn't going to talk to me, then I would have reciprocated the gesture. Okay. We worked in silence for the rest of the day, her throwing hidden looks at me every so often. See, her, abs are insane! It put me on edge. We finished the day unsuccessful.
What kind of armor is that, though? She's a soldier.
Is she wearing underwear or no? Because it's there's a gap there.
I have no idea. How does this protect her in any way?
It's like MMO logic, you know? Like, the less equipment, the higher power it is.
Right, exactly. I will continue looking tomorrow.
I see. We called it a day. Should I visit the flower field or the crash site?
Yeah.
Crash site. Again, I decided to look for the missing ship piece. Again, she acted strange around me, but today she seemed more intent on her mission, no longer throwing glances my way. At half day, her entire lower half of her body was covered with mud and petals. I hate to inform you, but that will not likely wash out. She looked at me oddly.
We soldiers do not care for our image as much as you do, Mistress Helena.
You know not of what you speak, soldier! I wrung my hands, trying my hardest to refrain from saying anything else. The woman just looked at me with a blank expression, saying nothing. This is me. If I was, for example, the most beautiful girl on the planet, obviously not far-fetched, I'd be the same. I'd be like, I'm a princess. I've been treated as such. Leave my space. Instead, she returned to her work, further dirtying her suit. I couldn't stand it, and a few hours later, decided to say something. You don't need to work so messily. You have no other suits to change into, correct? You should keep your clothes as clean as possible, so remove them. Since we will be wearing them for the entirety of our trip here.
I will do anything to find that piece. My clothing has no bearing on it.
But you certainly don't have to work as hard as this. She looked at me.
Mistress Helena, I am working this hard to fulfill my mission. To get us off this planet. To return you to your home.
I don't want to go home.
Certainly you understand that. Mistress Helena?
Not feeling good. I'm going back to the pond.
Mistress.
I left. We should just, keep going to the crash site.
Yeah. Okay, how long has it been? Because I feel like...
I don't know. I feel like we just started, but...
Really?
Yeah, I feel like that.
Okay, let's go up to day 5.
Yeah.
And
Okay, whatever. Super long bonus episode. Though I had abruptly left the previous... Oh, God, I forgot. I misclicked. Whatever. I left and I went to the crash site.
Mistress Helena, I'm surprised to see you here.
And what is that supposed to mean?
I thought the image of the crash site had made you ill.
No, that wasn't. I'm alright. What if there was like another girl in the flowers that we could romance too? Like she's the queen of that planet. What if it's like the whole like Hera Aphrodite situation?
Wasn't that in the very beginning?
Or whatever. I don't know. I thought it was like later on. That's what you were talking
No, I think that's
about.
what started the Trojan War. Wasn't it Helena going with Paris and like leaving her, whatever, leaving her husband? I think Helen, not Helena.
Yeah.
I don't know. Listen, I'm no mythology expert, but that's what
I'm no expert, but okay. I trust you. Whatever. The most I know is like the gods, and that's it. She turned then and began to search once again. I took a patch of flowers near her to look through for the piece. At midday, I'd only gotten through about half of the area I had normally covered. The mud underneath the flowers proved more troublesome to avoid than I had anticipated, and had taken a fair bit of time to avoid it from getting on my dress.
Mistress, if you wanted, we could switch positions.
No, you are dirty enough as it is. I will continue searching here. I didn't dare look at her face, but she must be so smug, knowing how I looked. I could feel my face burning. You must be laughing to yourself, seeing the great Helena of IKEA, the most beautiful woman in the galaxy, in such a state.
Mistress, it is only the two of us on this planet.
She wasn't smiling, but simply looked at me with a serious expression.
I will utter not a word of this to anyone. What we did here is simply in order to fulfill the mission to deliver you back home.
I couldn't look at her. Thank you, but...
But?
You had a nice butt back there. I forgot to mention that. We don't need to work as hard as this.
Pardon my rudeness, but you said that before. Why? Mistress, don't you want to go back to IKEA? To your home?
No, I don't. Now, if you will excuse me. I left the other half of the flower patch unsearched, instead of leaving for anywhere without soldiers in the vicinity. Should I visit the flower field or the crash site? Flower?
Crash site?
Oh, okay, crash site.
Okay, we can do the flower if you want to.
Alright, flowers it is. Just to, like, see the difference.
Okay.
I bet this is gonna take us to bad end, because you always have to, like, always pick whatever, I guess. I returned to the flower field the same as it had always been. The smell is still here. Alexandros. She had given me some of these flowers when we first met, when I still looked at her fondly. And that night on that tiny lover's planet, the night that I had snuck away and met her in absolute secrecy, the smell had been here too, or there, although not nearly as potent.
Yeah.
A sudden sad thought struck me. I'm a really good narrator. I wonder if Alexandros has gifted these flowers to some unsuspecting girl at whatever far-off planet she fled to. A frown tugged at the ends of my mouth. Oh my god. My mood was ruined, so I headed back. Day 6. And with day 6 will be another episode.
And we'll see if we actually get a bad end.
Yeah.
So probably will, because we've made shitty choices.
There's like some scary end apparently, and I kind of want to look for it. But
I always prefer the gore ends.
Like I like seeing bad ends more because they're usually more like creative because you have to go away from like the romance that's supposed to happen. So
I agree. I guess we'll see. It's beautiful so far, so I'm enjoying it.
Anyway, thank you for watching. And okay, I know this is like nothing, but I don't know, I'm like really happy that like actually the double digits for subscribers.
Yeah, double-digit subscribers.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay, bye. Thanks so much.